Hi guys, it is a snowy Saturday morning here in Alberta and we are actually heading off next week. We are off on to Paris where I get to facilitate a couple of classes and then off to Rome where I am retaking for my, and there's my cat. He apparently wants to be in the video too. Retaking my Certified Facilitators with Access Consciousness class. And my first one I took in 2012, I absolutely love the tools. You guys know that. I mean, you're on my newsletter, you would have seen me post about all sorts of things to do with the tools from Access Consciousness because they have literally changed every area of my life. And one of the areas that it's changed, and some of you may know this already, was I actually used to have what I called, I don't know if there would have been a name for it or what the proper name is, but travel anxiety, which meant I could not get into a vehicle with somebody other than hubby driving or me driving if we were going to be more than 10 minutes. So whenever we were looking at going to like a resort, that resort had to be 10 minutes or less from the airport. Now that is a very limiting way of traveling, let me tell you. And I can laugh about it now, but it was not funny back then. Like it actually was horrific. It got to the point where I did very little travel. And then when I had to, there was so much stress and so much angst about going and about what might happen. And then I started using the tools. And probably the biggest one for me with that anxiety that I had, and it started kind of randomly in 2004, was who does this belong to? So it wasn't even mine. But what had happened was the first time it occurred, I was driving in a big city by myself in traffic, kind of in the midst of it. So I couldn't have turned any direction to get out. I was stuck in like at a traffic light. And all of a sudden in that moment, I just started a panic attack. And I don't even know if that's a proper term because I'd never had one before, but that's what it was like. It was horrific. I had to roll my window down. I was talking to myself. It's okay, Glenyce, you're okay. Like it was the weirdest, intensest I've ever been in a situation. And then from that, I just kept recreating it because of that, because I would focus on what if that happens. And then 3 months later, I went to China to visit a friend. Yikes. Same thing. Is when I got in the taxi, I was sick. When it was horrific. And it was all down to not being mine. But back then, I didn't have these tools. So of course it had to be mine. It was going on within me. And so traveling became a nightmare, but I loved to travel, but it was a nightmare. And then we go to 2012, where I'd been using the tools for about a year, and I was going to the Certified Facilitator training, which was in Costa Rica at a totally different place than they do them now. So it was an hour drive from the airport to the resort. Oh my gosh. I thought, you know what? I'm giving myself full permission. If I can only get into the vehicle and get 10 minutes away and have to go back to the airport, I give myself permission. I will not judge me. I will not be mad at me. In fact, even when hubby was driving me to the airport, I said to him, if at any point I tell you to turn around and take me home, you cannot say anything except okay. And he knew the crazy that I had been choosing for years with travel. So he's like, yep, that's fine. If you need to, just let me know. He dropped me off. I was bawling like a baby. And it was so interesting because when I got to Costa Rica and I got in the vehicle and I knew it was an hour and I was using the tools, who does it belong to? Return to sender with consciousness. And the other tool that I love using with kind of that sort of energy is interesting point of view. I have this point of view. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view over and over and over. And it was so ease. The drive was so ease. I got there, I danced. I just danced like by myself, just in that moment. I danced because I had made it an entire hour with somebody else driving. And other than kind of the worry of having the anxiety, I didn't have any anxiety. Like, it was amazing. And now we have probably since 2012, although my global business started much more in 2013. We travel the world. We get in vehicles with strangers, with Uber drivers, with taxi cabs, with hosts. I mean, I get in the vehicle with anybody using my awareness, of course. And it doesn't even cross my mind. And it has made travel so much fun, so much ease. I mean, I can hardly wait to get to Paris and get in the taxi and get driving around, get to the Eiffel Tower. It is my favorite thing to see in Paris. And I know it's probably weird for some of you, but it is something for me. That Eiffel Tower is something for me. I'm so excited. And then in Rome, same thing, and it's just so ease. And it's amazing because prior to the tools of access, I had actually got to the point where I said to hubby, I can't travel anymore. And I remember thinking, because it had gotten really bad, not just but like out of country, I mean everywhere. Like even just driving from where we lived in Vermilion, the 2 hours into Edmonton, I couldn't do that with another person. Just me driving or hubby, but nobody else. So it had gotten so bad, and I remember thinking, I'm just going to be at home. Like, my life is going to just be here at home, which isn't a life in my world. For some people that works, that's great. But for me, I love traveling. I love being able to share my awesomeness around the globe. And the simple tool of who does it belong to, and really recognizing that we are infinitely aware whatever is going on for you. Unless it's infinite joy, infinite space, infinite magic, infinite orgasmic energy, infinite yumminess, infinite deliciousness, it is not yours. Not the crazy about the debt, not the crazy about the relationship, not the crazy about anything. It's not yours. You are infinitely aware of it. You're infinitely aware of all the crazy on the planet that people are choosing, but it is not yours. So it becomes okay, who does that belong to? Return to center with consciousness. The other one that I love to use in those situations is, am I using this to distract myself right now? Because I can pretty much guarantee that's what it's for. We distract ourselves, which is very, very cute and not so bright. So yeah, it has made my global business just even yummier to be able to travel with ease. And you can use the tool in any area of your life, any area. So thank you so much for watching and being on my email list. I am so incredibly grateful for each and every one of you. And I look forward to chatting with you from Paris next week.